One of the most common questions I and probably everybody else gets is, how do I stay motivated? Or how do you stay motivated, right? Which really translates to, how do you stay consistent? And in this video, I'm gonna share with you some practical things you can do to actually make sure you stay consistent no matter what. What's going on YouTube? It's John Mango here, and I'm back again repping Beyond the Iron, where I drop weekly fitness content on this channel to help you get to those goals faster and more enjoyably. So if you're interested in doing that, hit the subscribe button below. At the end of the video, I'm gonna quickly share with you the exact process I go through to actually instill new habits and make sure I stay consistent with them to lead to life-changing results. Okay, so stay tuned for that if you're interested. Now let's go ahead and get into the practical things we need to know in order to stay consistent with something. Okay, staying consistent typically means knowing the reason why you're doing something, the underlying motivation, because on the surface motivation is going to come and go. And the first thing I want to offer you in order to make sure that you stay consistent, in other words motivated, is the 5 why method. I've shared this on the channel before and it's not anything new, but this is how it works. A lot of people don't actually utilize this correctly. So what happens is, when people start off on something, or even sometimes you get close to or achieve your goal, you typically end up falling off, right? And the reason for that is because the underlying motivation is either 1, not clear enough, or 2, you've achieved the original goal and so you don't have a new underlying motivation. The 5 whys is going to fix both of those things. Now, when I ask you, why do you want to lose fat, or why do you want to lose weight, or why do you want to stick to this, or why do you want to implement this, typically people have a superficial response, such as, I want to lose fat to look better, I want to look good for summer, or whatever the case may be. These things are all things on the surface. I want to fit in clothes better, right? Or I want to make more friends, I want to be more popular. These are things that are on the surface. So you got to ask yourself why multiple times. So for example, let's say you want to look better in clothes. Why do you want to look better in clothes, right? You got to dig deeper. Well, I want to look better in clothes because I'll be more confident. Okay, but why do you want to be more confident? If I'm more confident, I'll be able to perform better at work and better in my relationships and better, you know, in my marriage or whatever the case is. Okay, but why do you want to perform better in those areas? Why would that confidence in those areas help? Because ultimately I'll be happier, I'll be more fulfilled. And why do you want to be more fulfilled? Notice I just keep asking until you dig down deep, and eventually you could link you sticking to this thing you're trying to stick to the outcome of your future children, or helping your family, or being more fulfilled, or being successful and achieving true happiness in the end. So when you have a very powerful underlying reason, which you can only cultivate by asking yourself why enough times, then it's very likely that you're going to stay consistent whether or not you're motivated in that moment. Next up is accountability tools. Now keep in mind, all these things are extra. The 5 whys and having your underlying reason and motivation why you're doing something is always going to be number 1, and you actually will not be successful in anything without it. So make sure you do that. Accountability tools could be things like apps on your phone, things like Productive, Todoist. These are little apps that I'll go into later that I have used and I know a lot of people use that can help you stay accountable by reminding you or creating streaks and things that you don't want to break. And so that day that you don't feel like going to the gym or sticking to the diet, you look and you don't want to ruin the streak even more so, and so you stick to it anyways. Or it just keeps you reminded, it keeps you on point, and you say, you know what, you're right, I gotta go through with this. I gotta stick to the promise I made to myself. Another accountability tool could be physical, could be writing it down in a journal, in a notebook, by your nightside table, on a calendar. Okay, so again, opening up these loops of starting up a streak or just making a promise to yourself and writing it somewhere that you can see it is a great way to leverage tools, especially ones that are on your phone that you're looking at every single day. Leverage these tools to help you stay more consistent. The third thing I want to offer you is invest time and money into it. You see, nothing is a commitment without time and or money, usually a combination of the two. So if you want to stay more consistent with something, you essentially have to reverse it. Don't give yourself the option to not be consistent. So if you put $1,000 in, what are the chances of you sticking to that thing? Much higher than if you had no money in on the game, right? That's why they call it skin in the game. So find a way to get yourself some skin in the game, whether it's hiring a coach, right? Whether it's finding somebody and putting in a pool of money, and whoever sticks to the thing the longest gets the money, or something along these lines, okay? A lot of people are hesitant to invest money into their own health, and this is hilarious, and it's also stupid and a lack of priority. And then those same people wonder why they can't stick to something. Well, why don't you try investing some money into it and watch what happens. The fourth thing I want to offer you is something that you must know. Motivation will not be there all the time. You must know that you're going to feel like not doing it, you're going to feel like quitting, you're going to wonder if it's worth it, and you're just not going to find yourself in the ideal situation most of the time, okay? And if you know that, those times when you do feel that way, you'll understand, I get it. I don't feel like going to the gym. This is when I have to go the most, okay? So that might be the most important point. On top of all the other three, make sure that you know that this is gonna come regardless. There is no secret tip that's going to avoid losing motivation forever. It's just not possible. You will lose motivation from day to day. Like, there's gonna be multiple days that you don't wanna do it. The ones that achieve it and stay consistent are the ones that always become successful in the end and see the results that they deserve to see. So just understand and know those days that you're not motivated are supposed to happen. And if you understand that and you accept them and you start looking forward to them, well, then you just can't lose. Now we're at the end of the video. I want to quickly break down the process I use to implement a new habit, okay? And it first starts with making a decision. I make a clear-cut decision, whether I sit down at my desk, write it down, type it out, print it out, put it on my wall, whatever the case is, put it in my phone. I make the decision that I'm going to make a change here, there, wherever it is, right? So make the decision first, because the decision is typically followed up by those commitment pieces, time and money. So what I'll do next is I will schedule in time every day. I'm gonna sift through my days and find little sections that I can fit something in to start creating the habit, and make sure that even if I have an excuse, I still have that time frame in every single day, and I can do it no matter what. Next, after that, is I leverage accountability tools. I use Productive and I use Todoist on my phone, and I also use a little calendar scheduling app on iOS. It's called Long Day. I use this to actually schedule out my day in advance, and it sends me a notification as to what I need to do for that day. So essentially, I plan out every day for 30 minutes at a time, and again, I'm gonna slot in that new thing that I'm trying to do. This app's gonna tell me when it's time to do it. I also have an accountability calendar up on my wall in my room. So again, you want to print out affirmations, print out your goals, put up a calendar, leverage the tools, make sure you push notifications to your phone, all these things, so you're attacking it from different angles and you're giving yourself no reason not to execute on it. The most important thing is I make time for it. People always say, I wanna start working out, I wanna start eating right, but they don't actually go in and schedule the time in advance. That's the first thing I do, because I understand that there is no commitment without time, okay? And on top of that, I typically invest some sort of money, whether it be in an app to leverage something or help me do something better, or learn something in a course to learn it. As I go through it, you're gonna get more motivated as you're learning about it as well. And the last thing I do is I don't delay. I start immediately, either that day, or I plan that day and I start the next, no matter what. Once I make that decision, I'm not deciding for a week out or a month out, because things change from now until then. You want to act as quickly as possible, and that is essentially how I go about implementing my own habits, routines, and making sure, setting myself up to be consistent with them regardless of motivation, because I already know, as we all do, it's not going to be there forever. Anyways guys, that's it for the video. If you enjoyed it, leave a comment below and let me know what you thought about it, and also let me know what else you'd like to see, more videos like this or a topic similar to this. If so, let me know. I'll reply and I'll make a video for it and for you. Don't forget to hit the like button, comment, share, and subscribe, because I'm dropping videos every damn week. See you in the next one. I'm out.